10 small stories about reverse thinking with big lessons. Listening will expand your vision and thinking, helping you transform your life's destiny. ****. Hello everyone, welcome to the 1% Better Everyday channel. First of all, I wish you all happiness and good health, especially gaining new and useful knowledge every day. Dear friends, the biggest difference between a successful person and an ordinary person lies in their thinking. Successful people think about problems from different perspectives, and when faced with adversity, they know how to use reverse thinking to turn the situation around. Each of us has our own perspectives and thoughts. In the art of thinking, sometimes you will have ways of thinking that go against the crowd. This does not mean going against moral principles or breaking the law.
Reverse thinking is a way of thinking contrary to popular opinions and beliefs, helping you break free from ruts and the opinions of the crowd, and become someone steadfast in your own way of thinking. The following 10 small stories will help you understand more about the power of reverse thinking. Please stay tuned. Story 1. The tale of selling refrigerators in the Arctic, and the lesson from reverse thinking. Is selling refrigerators in the Arctic an impossible task? In a land covered in ice and snow for 365 days a year, where the concepts of heat and warmth are unknown, do they really need a cooling device? To answer this question, a man traveled to the Arctic, where the Eskimos live, to try selling a refrigerator. Many people, even his closest friends, found the idea laughable and did not support him. They believed it was an impossible task, suggesting instead that he should bring heaters to dispel the cold for the Arctic inhabitants. However, the man remained steadfast in his thinking. Instead of advertising the cooling function of the new refrigerator, he introduced the Eskimos to its ability to keep food fresh without freezing in the cold, icy environment. Rather than waiting a long time to thaw food and drinks, the people there could save time and preserve the taste of their food by using the refrigerator for storage. As a result, even selling refrigerators in the Arctic, he succeeded with his seemingly absurd idea. It shows that the greatest business opportunities often stem from extraordinary and unconventional thinking. Therefore, we must always venture into seemingly irrational paths to discover the most unique opportunities that no one else has explored. This uniqueness will create distinctive success for you. Story 2. The humorous tale with a profound lesson from a Jewish man. A well-dressed Jewish man, wearing premium leather shoes and an expensive watch, walked into a major bank in the city. He took out a bundle of checks worth $500,000 as collateral and asked the bank, "Can I borrow some money?" The bank employee replied, "No problem, sir. How much would you like to borrow?" The man responded, $1. The employee asked again, "Just $1? The man replied, "Yes. Is that not okay?" The employee, "Of course, sir. The annual interest rate at our bank is 6%. After 1 year, you just need to repay $1 plus 6% interest, and we will return your stocks to you intact." The man said, "Thank you." With that, the Jewish man stood up and left. Another man, also making a deposit at the bank, witnessed this and followed out of curiosity. He approached the Jewish man and asked. The Jewish man smiled and replied, "The thing is, before coming to the bank, I went to several safes to inquire about storage fees and was informed that the cost of renting a safe deposit box was too high. So, I decided to deposit my stocks differently at the bank. You see, each year I only spend 6% of $1 for the storage fee." Though this is a folklore tale, it demonstrates the intelligence behind a different and reverse thinking approach of the man. Typically, People want to mortgage something to borrow as much as possible. But this man took advantage of the low interest rate to treat it as a storage fee he had to pay when asking the bank to keep his assets. With this smart move, he minimized his costs while ensuring his purpose was achieved. It can be seen that reverse thinking is a risky but beneficial way of thinking, bringing strong results if leveraged properly. Instead of following the conventional direction, think and create a completely different path to minimize difficulties and costs while ensuring the benefits you will achieve. This is a rare skill that most great thinkers and successful entrepreneurs know how to use as an advantage in business. Story 3. The brilliant American investor, Charlie Munger, is also known as the best companion of billionaire Warren Buffett. Someone once asked Charlie, "How do you find a good companion?" He replied, "First, you have to be talented and trustworthy because a good companion is not a fool." Story 4. Mandela was sentenced to 27 years in prison, and during that time, he was mistreated by the guards. Surprisingly, when he became president, he invited 3 of the guards who had mistreated him to the ceremony. When Mandela stood up to pay his respects to the 3 guards, everyone present fell silent. He said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." The lesson: forgiving others is actually a form of self-improvement. Story 5. Hassan lent a businessman 2,000 yuan for business. As the repayment deadline approached, Hassan suddenly discovered that the debt note was lost, which made him very worried. He knew that if the debt note was lost, the person who borrowed money from him might not repay. When Nazrekan, Hassan's friend, learned of this, he said to Hassan, "Write to this businessman and ask him to return the 2,500 yuan he borrowed from you at that time." Upon hearing this, Hassan was confused. "He only borrowed 2,000 yuan from me. How can I ask him to repay 2,500 yuan?" Though he didn't understand, Hassan followed the advice. After the letter was sent, Hassan quickly received a reply. The businessman wrote in the letter, "I borrowed 2,000 yuan from you, not 2,500 yuan, and I will repay you when due." The lesson: in terms of methodology, reverse thinking has clear instrumental significance, and when used well, it opens the door to a new world. Story 6. A wealthy man went to buy tomatoes. He asked the seller, "How much per kilogram for tomatoes?" The seller said, 16,000 dong per kilogram. He picked up 2 tomatoes and placed them on the scale, then added the largest one to the scale. The seller looked at the scale and said, 10,000 dong. The man took the largest tomato off the scale, indicating he didn't want it, and the seller, with an arrogant look, said, 8,000 dong. In reality, the largest tomato weighed more than the 2 tomatoes on the scale, clearly showing the seller's unfairness, which displeased the bystanders. But the wealthy man remained calm, took 2,000 dong from his pocket and handed it to the seller. However, he didn't take the 2 tomatoes on the scale but took the largest tomato he had just removed and happily walked away. The lesson: change the calculation method, come up with a different approach, and you'll discover new solutions to problems. Story 7. There was a buffet restaurant, and because diners were wasting too much food, the restaurant established a rule: wasting food would incur a fine of 10,000 dong. As a result, the business situation worsened. Later, The manager came up with a solution. Increase the price of the dishes by 10,000 dong, and at the same time, change the rule to those who do not waste food will be given 10,000 dong. The result was surprisingly successful, with no more food waste. The lesson: never make customers feel they are losing out. Make them feel they are benefiting. Story 8. Asterisk. An old monk asked a young monk, if taking a step forward means death, and stepping back also means death, what will you do? The young monk replied without hesitation, I will walk sideways. Reverse thinking. There is always another path beside the road. Life is unpredictable. Adversity and failure are common. In such times, maintain an optimistic and positive mindset. Look at problems from a different angle, turn them around, and you may find hope waiting for you. Sometimes, losing something can be a way of gaining. May you stay optimistic even in difficult times. Story 9. The Tale of Sima Guang Breaking the Jar, asterisk. This is a very famous story in China. It talks about an incident from Sima Guang's childhood. One day, while playing hide and seek in the garden with friends, each child ran in a different direction to find a hiding spot. At that time, one child jumped into a water jar to hide, unaware that the jar was full of water. The boy began to choke and scream, causing the other children to panic, not knowing what to do. Only Sima Guang remained calm, took a stone, and smashed the jar, allowing the water to flow out and saving the boy. When someone falls into water, our usual thinking is to rescue the person from the water, but Sima Guang, facing an urgent situation, used reverse thinking and decisively broke the jar to let the water out from the person, saving the boy's life. Reverse thinking is a way of thinking contrary to common beliefs and seemingly concluded opinions. Sometimes, there are problems that we can't solve no matter how we think, but by changing our perspective and thinking method, we often find solutions and unexpected results. Story 10. Asterisk. A young man stood on the roof, saying he wanted to commit suicide, attracting a large crowd of onlookers. When the police arrived and asked for the reason, the young man said that his girlfriend of 8 years had left him for a rich man, and she was getting married tomorrow. He felt that life had no meaning anymore. An old man standing nearby said, "You've been sleeping with someone else's wife for 8 years, and now you still have the face to stand here and threaten to commit suicide?" The young man thought for a moment, realized it was true, smiled, and gave up on the idea of suicide, then walked downstairs. In reality, many situations in life seem so difficult that we think they are beyond hope. But if you use reverse thinking, you'll realize they aren't that difficult after all. Change your perspective on the problem, and things can become much clearer and brighter. Dear viewers and friends, you have just watched the video. The above is a sharing session titled 10 Small Stories of Reverse Thinking that Contain Big Lessons. Listening to these stories can greatly expand your vision and mindset, helping you to transform your life's destiny. Wishing you abundant health, peace, happiness, success, and prosperity. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to support the channel. Remember to click on the bell icon so you won't miss our latest videos when they are broadcasted. Once again, we sincerely thank you for your attention and support. Wishing you always good health, peace, and success. Sincerely, and see you in the next video.